the mastermind, the brain trust, a legend, my good friend, Potter.
Potter is a legend. Across 2 decades, Potter has been driven by one thing and one thing alone: an unstoppable desire to be the best, no matter what.
I'm not having to find ways to motivate myself, I just am right now. I want to win again.
From competition to analyst work to coaching, Potter has only ever had victory in mind.
Breaking news. Demon is coming in and is subbed for BCJ.
It was an outrageous move, for sure. We were kind of cornered.
No matter how hard things got.
But so difficult, so damn hard, and it's the 13-0.
No matter how hopeless things seemed.
Controversial title coming up. Is EG going to be the worst team in the Americas League?
She has never given up on her dream, and her confidence has never been shaken.
He's got the knives out! A 2v2, Alpha and Chronicle to try and get Fnatic across the line.
Oh my God!
He's trying to save them, but it's Alpha up against Demon now. Oh my God!
Right then, I probably was like, oh, we're winning. We're winning, chaps. We're going to win everything.
It's going to be the freebie, but he's going to play this out patiently. He wants to spot them both. Can he make the transition? Yes, he can!
Time working against him, you can start to hear it. Tickets away, Fahey's the way! Demon won!
Ethan's found Mind Freak is down to 2. This could be it. Another chance for Jing. It's all over!
Christine Potter-Chi was introduced to competitive first-person shooters young, and she was locked in from the moment she started playing Counter-Strike.
I was always competitive with my brother, and I had no interest in video games at that time, but just because he didn't let me play, I was always curious what he was doing, and then one thing led to another. I started playing Counter-Strike, and then I was hooked. The very first time I put on a headset, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. The fact that I had a headset and I was talking through my PC to other people in a video game, and that blew my mind.
From that point forward, Potter never looked back. Her obsession led her to competitive CS 1.6, and just a few years later, she began her professional career with SK Gaming's women's roster in 2006. By 2007, she was already winning world championships.
Du titre mondial! Et voilà! Et voilà!
You know, at that time, esports was obviously much different than it is now, but I was so damn proud of winning that tournament. And even qualifying for that tournament and making it there was such a uphill battle. I mean, we had to save $10,000 to be able to buy the tickets and go together as a squad.
Potter's rise was explosive. She won 5 more ESWC titles between 2008 and 2015, establishing her team as a women's CS dynasty. Potter was unmatched as a player. In an era where esports was a true Wild West, she was focused on victory, dedicated to motivating her teammates, and above all else, being the most professional pro in the scene.
I always respected her. I thought she was one of the best, not just women, but one of the best role models in Counter-Strike. At the time, I really admired her determination, her work ethic. She was never afraid to tell it like it is. If you're playing bad, she's gonna call that out. And she was always very good about separating that, like business and personal.
Potter was an excellent player, of course, but the intangibles matter too, the things that the scoreboard can't track. Potter was honest, straightforward, and did everything she did in pursuit of championships. And that meant she had to make sure her team wanted that too. Her single-minded pursuit of glory put her in a different class than the rest of esports back then. What Potter had was confidence. Confidence she was the best. Confidence she could push through any obstacle. Confidence she could lead any team to victory.
She was just like super alpha in the game, and I think she had that mindset where it's just a pure winner's mentality, and you can tell that even from the way that she entered the game, from the way that she spoke about the game, from the way that she would even speak about other people.
And yet, despite her killer approach to the game, Potter knew how to build a family atmosphere in her teams. She created lifelong friendships amidst the victories. Friendships that helped build trust and, in turn, led back to wins. And Potter's success wasn't only for herself. She parlayed those victories into a position of authority in a male-dominated industry, becoming a voice for young women hoping to find a career in esports.
There are some women out there right now, some girls who could be 17 years old, and they could be the exception. They might be good. And it's my responsibility to allow these women to be inspired, to understand that they can take it to the next level. They can dream, and don't just let their dreams be dreams. They can actually take it to the next level, you know?
Potter was an inspiration to everyone. Her teammates, her fans, even her opponents simply had to look up to her. Potter was so good that in 2018, after winning everything North America had to offer, she sought new horizons in Europe, looking to conquer the scene all over again.
Towards 2018, it was clear that my team, CLG and UB United, that was mine and Miss Harvey's little project that we grew from day one. It was clear that it was time to move on.
She was still on top of the world, but other teams were starting to narrowly beat her. Even as she got older, she still loved the game. So she moved to the analyst desk after her close friend, Moses, encouraged her to give it a try.
I was still paying to be involved in esports. You know, I was getting older. I just hit 30, and so it was really tough figuring out, do I keep being obsessed doing the same thing, or do I try to figure out what more I can do?
But broadcast work just wasn't enough. Potter was a competitor at heart, and a new opportunity gave her a chance to taste glory once again. Valorant represented a chance to begin anew for dozens of former CS pros, many of whom the community felt were past their prime, but Potter didn't care about any of that. She was addicted to the game, and the competitive fire in her soul was relit for the first time in years.
Prior to that, any new game that comes out, I will have a moment of like a month where I really for like 12 hours a day, dive in and like look up everything about it and then figure out if it's a game that I find interesting or not. And Valorant was one of those games, and I was instantly hooked.
Potter made waves instantly, signing with Evil Genius's mixed gender roster as their IGL. But as the months wore on, she realized that success wasn't going to come so easily anymore. Her mind for the game was as sharp as ever, but young guns were running the show in Valorant, and EG just couldn't keep up. EG struggled to break into the Tier 1 scene. They bombed out of every challenger qualifier they played. Potter knew things were going wrong, and even though she just couldn't quit, it was clear that something needed to change.
Building that roster was all wrong. So if I could go back in time and redo that again, I would do it again.
EG swapped to a fully male roster, hoping to reverse their sad fortunes, but Potter was still on their payroll. As one of the most experienced IGLs in TAC FPS, she seemed like a natural fit as the team's new head coach. This marked the end of Potter's time playing, but it wasn't the end of her time competing. Potter always wanted to be the best. She was driven like almost no one else, so she threw herself into coaching, and her players fell in lockstep.
So she was an in-game leader when she played, so it honestly was pretty similar. Really, the biggest difference was that she just wasn't, playing.
With Potter in charge, EG became a team with strong fundamentals and innovative comps that allowed them to punch above their weight throughout 2022, even taking a series off of the defending world champions, Optic Gaming.
But a nice little fragment underground from Dogamo. Now here comes the aftershock. Dogamo gets the last one. As he sees Victor, they're inching on him, they're closing on him, there's nothing he can do, and EG wins the series with the Prime Gaming Flawless.
But despite some solid victories throughout the regular season, EG fizzled out in playoffs and failed to qualify for a single international event in 2022. As Valorant shifted into an era with permanent partner teams, many expected EG to fade out. Despite Potter's best efforts, the team just never amounted to much, which is why the community was baffled when EG was one of just 10 locked-in partner teams for the upcoming Americas League. The mockery only got worse when fans realized that every other team was signing star players, while EG seemed to be sitting around doing nothing.
Controversial title coming up. Is EG going to be the worst team in the Americas League? But in an actual sense, what are they doing in the offseason? Like, what are they doing?
Have there been no reports about them at all? I don't think I've seen any.
There's been like a report that there was movement.
I think there's movement.
There's movement. Was literally, I think, the quote.
Movement? What, are we geologists? We're looking at the plates.
I'm not seeing enough movement.
But Potter believed in her players. She retained the core of Boostio, Calm, and Jogamo and added some much-needed experience to the team with Ethan and BCJ.
The first year back in franchising on LAN, finally after everything that's been going on since 2020, I get to get the kid who's been competing in Counter-Strike LANs since he was 15 and been winning trophies all that time, and I get to get his experience. That was insane.
Potter dug deep into her past, relying on her incredible game knowledge, single-minded desire to win, and focus on team bonding to build an atmosphere that could breed champions just like her. She demanded respect, instilling a hunger for victory in her players while still remembering that teams play best when everyone actually likes each other.
I don't let them have fun, all the time, but it's a video game, so we have to have fun. So I'm the person that's trying to find that balance of telling them when it's time to just have fun and when it's time to have calculated fun.
But despite Potter's best efforts heading into 2023, the year started in disaster. After an early exit at lock-in, EG's season began spiraling out of control.
Nanoswarm available for Busio for a pulse blind if he wants to, and they both fall. 100 Thieves comes in for the defuse. A convincing second map win.
EG lost every map they played in the first 2 weeks of the regular season. It got so bad they were ranked as one of the worst teams in the league. Meanwhile, some members of the community started to call for Potter's head. After 17 years in esports, Potter's excellence had never been questioned like this before. A slip here could have spelled the end of her career. She wasn't an unproven coach anymore. The results spoke for themselves. 2 years of failure did not bode well. And sure, she could have returned to the analyst desk or found a career elsewhere, but Potter had an ace up her sleeve. On April 15th, EG announced that they were benching BCJ in favor of Demon 1, an unknown player they found through an open tryout. It was an extremely controversial decision that only increased the criticism and pressure on Potter. Most people thought that she was benching the wrong player, that the move made no sense.
It was an outrageous move, for sure. We were kind of cornered. We had no choice. Kickoff did not go as planned. Even before we signed to Demon 1, my conversations with Andrew at the time was, this kid is going to be on the starting roster before the end of the year. He's just too good not to be.
Potter anticipated the pushback from the community, but she didn't expect to be on the receiving end of the first 13-0 in VCT America's history.
Doesn't win this one. Sonic and Les and Ethan to deny the humility. He's got to win it out now, but so difficult, so damn hard, and it's the 13-0.
Despite the fact that EG had cobbled together a reasonable season aside from that embarrassing loss, it was all the haters wanted to focus on, and EG's inconsistency in the first few weeks of the group stage meant that their playoff hopes rested in another team's hands. MIBR were one of the worst teams in the league. Their season was already over, but their match against 100 Thieves meant everything for Potter and EG. If 100 Thieves won, they'd move on to playoffs, but if MIBR managed an upset, they'd hand EG the final spot. To make matters worse, MIBR were playing with their assistant coach as a sub for their final matches. EG's players had already accepted that their playoff hopes were basically over. But MIBR had other ideas.
Everything on the line for it. Chosen! You gotta stick it, Chosen spraying! Spray tonight! No way! Off of it all! He's the hero in this scenario, and 100 Thieves have been denied!
Shoot the f***ing guy! It's Tom! Yes!
Potter got a lifeline. One last chance to prove that she was right. One last chance to prove that every decision that led her here, every risk she took was worth it. One last chance at redemption. And once she had control of EG's destiny, she didn't let it slip away for a second.
Aiming on the sight, the jump speed, and he lands it onto Finesse when a Nanoswarm misses. Both Cloudbursts coming through, and he does get the support from Ethan. It's all up to Psalm now with the backstab. Al Joel to spot him, and Ethan gets the kill. Crashy's position is now given away. You need Herculean efforts right now as Juggernaut plays the off angle, and it connects. They've done it!
We talked about it a few rounds ago. This thing has gone from snowball to full-on avalanche. With Evil Geniuses as the architects. Holy smokes.
This is it.
This is how it ends. Zepp was the last one up.
Look at Demon 1 going for it.
I want it. The flash and the kill delivers.
The pressure was all of a sudden off. Like, we didn't even expect to be here. You know, just the other day we're watching MIBR, and let's be honest, that morning when we woke up, the chances of MIBR winning that series was slim to none.
You're probably thinking ahead to LCQ, just like,
exactly. I mean, so for us, these last few days have been very fast. It's been kind of a blur, but I'm glad that our prep beforehand leading up to this kind of kept us composed.
What the hell? Dimitri, man, we have to shoot the Cash App ad right now. Why are you on your phone? Sorry, my bank's notifying me that someone's trying to buy a StatTrak Fire Serpent with my money? This is really bad. Dude, don't you use Cash App? No. I think this person's trying to buy a year's supply of hair gel. What do I do? Well, if you actually read the script earlier instead of texting on your phone, you would know that with Cash App, this wouldn't be a problem. They actually have awesome security features that help you protect your money. Oh yeah? Like what? Well, if someone was making weird purchases on my account, I'd just open Cash App and lock my debit card with the press of a button. Oh wow, that is easy. Oh God, I've got to call the bank. This clown's putting a bid in on Faker's World's Winning Underwear. Sorry, guys. What the?
Hey, can I borrow some cash? The debit card I was using just like stopped working for some reason.
Wait, Dimitri, but weren't you just... Oh man, screw it. We're already behind schedule as it is. Are you ready to shoot?
Of course. Who do you think I am?
EG qualified for their first ever international event, but Potter's squad were still the underdogs in Tokyo. Nobody thought they stood a chance against some of the best teams in the world. But EG were quick to silence any doubters. They powered their way through the group stage and into the playoffs, setting the scene for a matchup against the best team in the world, Fnatic, in the upper finals. And that's where Potter and EG showed the world that they could contend with the best.
He's still on the side, mostly to get back towards you. Back corner, Ethan's gonna trade out Leo. It ain't over yet, but maybe Chronicle, maybe not. Maybe it's Demon 1. He's got the knives out. A 2v2, Alpha and Chronicle to try and get Fnatic across the line.
Oh
Demon
my God!
1! He's trying to save them, but it's Alpha up against Demon now. Oh my God!
I think right then I probably was like, oh, we're winning champs. You know, like in a funny way. We're gonna win everything.
EG ultimately fell short in their rematch against Fnatic in the grand finals, but their second place performance in Tokyo put them on everyone's radar heading into champions. Potter had turned EG from the laughingstock of the VCT to finalists on the world stage. While some saw the Demon 1 signing as a massive risk, Potter knew that she could turn him into a god. She gave him a system, experience, and confidence.
Demon 1 was very fresh, so even small things like just ripping your ult, your knives, to secure the round was something that was kind of foreign to him when he joined the team, because in ranked, you don't do that. In ranked, you use your knives when you're broke.
Shots better from DG. Oh my gosh! What was that? How?
One enemy
He's not done, man. It's all a setup. It's all a setup for the Blades. There it is! Demon 1 gets all 5.
And after their performance in Tokyo, EG entered the final event of the year with a new swagger and the confidence that they could beat anyone.
Number 2, EMEA is a one-team region.
Holy, that is 100% fact.
Strongly agree.
They need to do so much better over there.
EG waltzed through the group stage as champions, looking better and better as the tournament went on. But once again, when they hit the upper bracket finals, they met their first true test.
Can he do it once again? It's gonna be the freebie, but he's gonna play this out patiently. He wants to spot them both. Can he make the transition? Yes, he can! 2v3, however, the man advantage still gonna be in the hands. Defy tries to play off the back of his own flash, ends up getting gunned down, but Mind Break! 1, 2, 3, shuts them down! Coming through. Something looking to play entry, the spam across, takes him low, finds one, gets a dig, and the transfer comes in! Swarming him, getting in behind. The flash across, Mind Freak about to swing the corner. He does so, and he puts him down. 15-3, a 2-1 victory. Paper X, they advance into the grand finals.
I was nervous because it was sending us down to face off versus Loud. And for me as a coach, I was much more afraid of Loud than I was Fnatic and PRX.
With a spot in the grand finals up for grabs, Potter and EG would have to take down the very team that 13-0'd and humiliated them earlier in the season. Loud were among the tournament favorites and a team that had EG's number all season. The 13-0 loss echoed in everyone's mind as the two teams loaded into the server, but Potter's team had come a long way since that loss. She'd since turned them into stars.
Time. 15 seconds. Where's the spike? It's dropped down right there. Nade. Close to the corner. Ethan! He's getting away with murder. 10 seconds. To 1v1 and the doors in his face. Obstacles abound. Kawazin, you gotta break it. And Ethan, he's won it out.
He goes for the top.
Unreal. Unreal! No clean shots, no clean fights. Orbs in their face, the decay damage kicking in.
And here comes Les.
It's a 2v3.
They've heard him.
They finally have taken control of Heaven. Les has cleared this one out, but again, time working against him. You can start to hear it tick. It's a wide face. No way! Demon 1!
Into position, Les already going for another lurk. In a different avenue. He's found the timing, slipped through, retreats. And it's too easy.
The backing away, round to the side, shots are wild, Loud, it's crumbling. Up to 2 years, 1v2, 2 years, a 1v1.
He gets out, he has the molly to try and lock off Ethan as he would go for this, but the molly's not being invested.
Not being invested, too late, Ethan!
EG took down Loud in an emotional best of 5. Setting up a revenge match against Paper Rex. But this time around, Potter was more confident than ever before.
Going into Champions, I think we all felt like we were gonna win that grand finals before we even played. I think if it was Loud or Fnatic at that time in the grand finals, we might have felt a little bit differently. But versus PRX, just stylistically, just matched so well versus them.
One of the things that made me cry the most is when they were doing the walkouts and every player got their announcement, and I'm tearing up just thinking about it. She had the most cheers of anyone in the forum. I just think that was incredible because I think that was so inspiring, not just for other women, but other guys to see a woman on stage in the highest tiers of her sport.
Potter's nearly 2-decade-long career led up to this moment. After all those years competing both inside and outside the server, this was her chance to lift the biggest trophy of her life. It was a chance to make history, to wrap up EG's storybook Cinderella run in front of a roaring home crowd, and the grand finals delivered.
They have to respect what's coming their way. And Jing disrespecting all the utility, all the presence. Something on the follow-up and the site may be theirs. One stands in their way. Oh my God! Inhuman reaction from something.
The plant will come through with plenty of time. This will give the vote. Wait, oh my God, the Rolling Stones is going to cancel. He's going to get the plant.
But Demon 1 and Ethan on bodyguard duty, diving on in. EG standing up. The Seekers just went through. Yeah, flash to force Jing away. Gap now closed, but they need to close down these kills. Boostio's the one to do the first. But look at the response from something. Instantaneous and clear cut. Boostio, what is going on? Oh my good God! He's a little ahead of expectation, but come on the way. He's going to take him down. Still trying to dig deeper. The paint, it didn't connect. He found nothing. It's a 3v3. Still anyone's game here. Jing, the next to try and step into the ring. Demon 1 on the other side. Ethan's found Mind Freak is down to 2. This could be it. Another chance for Jing. It's all over. EG are your Valorant World Champions.
What started off as a season of misery ends in a season of infamy. Give it up for your 2023 World Champions, Evo Geniuses!
GB, you were there when I was screaming it from the rooftops that this kid right here and this kid, we're gonna be the best players in NA. I have 2 of the best initiators, the best Sentinel, the best Raze, and the best Jet right here.
I think that was like the highest point I've hit in life for about like a week. And then it went away. No matter how much you've succeeded at a tournament or how well you've been playing as a team, there's never like a stress-free piece of time. It's always like, I wonder if I'll have a team next season.
You could see the rise in fame and our egos just getting bigger and bigger by the day, and it helped us. It helped us so much to win champions. But the writing was on the wall because in esports, these players, you only have a certain amount of earning potential and staying power.
I mean, I knew during the season that it was just gonna be basically done after, so I lived up to that, and I was just like, we all just told each other, like, let's make it count. Like, regardless of the factor, like, if we're not here next year, let's just play out and let's have fun. Let's just try to win that trophy.
Despite winning the biggest Valorant event in the world, Potter's team was falling apart. EG was going through its own problems while Potter was flipping the script on their Valorant team. The organization was bleeding money and talent, and the players weren't interested in sticking around without a pay bump. World Championship resumes are worth a lot to teams who actually want to win. Demon 1 and Ethan left for NRG. Boostio and Zix joined 100 Thieves, and Calm signed with Leviathan. The family that Potter built at EG was all but gone. For anybody else, it would be difficult to continue after losing nearly all of her championship-winning roster, but Potter isn't like anyone else. She immediately got back to work, signing players who some members of the community had already given up on. They were players who had shown plenty of potential in the past, but were never considered world-class.
On paper, especially when we first built the roster, this is not a competitive world championship winning roster. Who cares? I think Potter does excellent work, especially with folks that are considered underdogs. In fact, I think we consistently overperform right now when we have pressure, but we're not expected to win.
I was very grateful to get a second chance because after the season, like stats-wise, it was not looking good for me to get picked up to any franchise team. I think EG was literally the only way I was gonna play again. So I was super grateful for that. And obviously working under Potter has been a blessing. I've learned a lot.
Time will tell how Potter's new EG will fare, but she's already proven more than enough. Her determination and work ethic have always pushed her to become the best at everything she does. But her attitude outside the game is the secret sauce. The reason her teams continue to succeed time and time again. Even when the community criticizes her and her players, they stay strong. She's instilled in them the confidence that they're already the best, that she trusts them to carry her dream and desire for victory forward, no matter what anyone says.
When we're in the server, it's business mode. When we're out of the server, it's you know, more family mode. It's we get to have our fun together.
In the game, she taught me to just be confident in yourself, no matter what. Outside the game, it's like a foodie. Loves like to go out to eat fish, of course. I think everyone has seen that. And then just like a friend, you know, like a great friend.
Some might stand at the top of the world, achieving everything Potter has achieved, and decide to retire, but not Potter. She is still a fighter after nearly 20 years in the ring. No matter the game, no matter the odds, Potter will always want to win because she knows she's already the best and that she always has been. She's already proven it twice, and she will prove it again.
As soon as I lost my team last year, the immediate thought that I came up with was, oh, I get to do it again. I'm not having to find ways to motivate myself. I just am right now. I want to win again.
Hey guys, thanks so much to every one of you who has been tuning in to watch this brand new season of The Story Of presented by Cash App. It's because of partners like Cash App that we're able to bring you bigger and better content every year. And with their help, we've been able to make this season of Story Of better than ever. So if you got a second, do us a favor and fill out the quick survey down in the comments below. It takes a couple of minutes and helps us a ton to keep making content like The Story Of. See you next Saturday for the next episode.
Thanks for watching. If you want more content like this, hit the sub button and ring the notification bell. For unique bite-sized videos you won't find anywhere else, hit us up on our Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.